Update 29, Part 2, coming at you! Number 1 here on Kid Switch. I had 2 panels I needed to ink in color that have been paid for so far. And the other one was the one with a bunch of panels, and I inked that. And I'm working on this one, which is a pinup. It's just a single shot of the main character, Kid Switch, with his, power glove, like, bah, I finally got it, kind of like a little bit of hero, a bit of hero shot. And I was pretty happy because I was like, oh, good, this one will be a lot easier, it'll go a lot quicker. But I didn't factor in the pressure of, there's only one image, so it's got to look perfect. If you have multiple elements in a panel and multiple panels on a page, there's more you could get away with, whereas this is a big hero shot that needs to be heroic. And so I've been doubting myself and second guessing, and I've redrawn it several times, and I guess I'm getting closer. I don't know, but I've been working on it and don't feel like I've made progress. This is the rough, which was approved by the writer, which is just him. There's smoke and energy and all that stuff, typical kind of power pinup. But as I kept going in, like, okay, let me make sure the anatomy's right. Like, oh, this looks a little wrong, and this posture's a little wrong, and let me get the face on model and stuff. I kept working it. This is what I'm looking at right now. And it's a little bit more accurate, but it's a lot less dynamic. And this is not a finished pencil, let alone an ink. But I keep reworking it, and I feel that I keep going back and forth between it looking dynamic and wrong, and accurate and right. And I'll probably lean on the side of dynamic and wrong, because that'll make for a better picture. But this is a constant battle all the time. I do a quick rough that has energy, and I don't mean literal energy like the glove, but I mean kinetic energy, movement. It looks, exciting, and then when I go to clean it up, I lose it, and that's a constant thing that happens to me. But this is just a really good, stark example of what happens when I start to clean something up. Well, it's still Thursday. It's the evening. I've went and did some things I needed to do that are not art related, driving, picking up keys, exciting things like that, and decided since I had to be over the side of town anyway, I'm back at the Shoreline Theater. Why? To see another Riff Tracks. That's right. Another spoofed movie, joked upon, parodied, laughed upon movie by those wackadoodles from Mystery Science 3000 as the Riff Tracks crew, doing The Room, which is a famously bad movie, semi-recent as opposed to Plan 9 or one of those other old ones. And I had never seen it before. I'd heard about it, and it's supposed to be terrible and boring and incomprehensible. And I hadn't seen it, and I had mixed feelings about seeing it riff tracked first. It's kind of like watching a movie with commentary from the director before you'd actually seen it. But I gambled that it was bad enough that I might never want to watch it anyway. And I was right. Because watching the humorized version, the somewhat edited down version, it was still hard to watch at points. I enjoyed it. I don't regret coming. And once again, I came by myself. And once again, it had that Comic-Con vibe. I think some group from an office or a party or something had bought out a huge block because it was more filled, the seats, you have assigned seating here, was more filled than when I had come to see Starship Troopers at the same theater. And so I had to sit close to the front, but I made sure to get a seat with no one on either side of me, so I spread out like a king. And I also got a cappuccino as I walked in, and I ate it with a candy cane I saved from Christmas. So happy day, night to me. Well, hello, cats and kittens. It's Friday in the afternoon, late afternoon, actually. Got up late, catching up on some missed sleep the last couple days. Then got a late start because I had a lot of catching up of emails and things like that. I might have some caricature things coming up that I had to deal with, and most of my work day today, it's about 3:30, and I haven't gotten anything done on the horror or on Kid Switch. I've only been working on Earthling Colors, the same page which was done. There's a lot of last minute revisions and things, and I didn't charge because it was elements that should have been added according to the writer that then the penciler did, and then I went in, or penciler ink or whatever, and colored them in. But it took me an hour and a half to do that. And the reason I didn't charge for the revision is because arguably these elements should have been there to begin with. And I didn't have to change any of the colors I did. I didn't have to add anything other than coloring the new elements. And so I sort of was like, well, if these were here to begin with, it would have taken me that time to do it. Maybe a little bit less if I did incorporate the whole thing. Whatever. I have a good working relationship. I'm not going to nickel and dime the person. If there's another one, then that's a different story. But it is kind of a bummer that that page was, in my mind, done. And I'm like, okay, I have the next page when they send that and whatever. But otherwise, going back to something that's done is always sort of psychologically Sloping. No, I wanted to say slowing or disheartening. I can't think of the word, but even if it's something that's not terribly long to do, and even if it's not my fault or whatever, and even if I've been paid, it's not even the pay in this particular instance anyway. It just feels like it was done and now it's not, and it goes back on my to-do list. Now, theoretically, it is now done, but I also got the line work for page 10, so that take one off, put one on. Cha. So I'm now going to go shave and take a shower. You could tell I need it. If you look real close right here, well, you can't tell, but I shaved yesterday. I started shaving and then went to bed. So anyway, I'm gonna go clean my face and my body, my bum, my armpits, also behind my ears. This is getting stupid. Hey! So this day is really kicking my butt. Oh, look at my shaved face and fluff hair. That's right, I'm clean. But I'm still working on that pinup on Kid Switch, and it's embarrassing. But I've spent hours just trying to work out a pose and get a rough. And this highlights something else which I have long suspected about myself, that I'm not particularly good at pinups or covers or like the action sword coming at you flying pose. Which is funny because the average comic artist excels at that and like will have portfolios full of that and not much of the sequential stuff. And I guess at some point I realized that and I stopped focusing on that and made a point of trying to learn how to have people talking and sitting and, you know, telling story and being in less exciting poses. But a side effect of that is that it's difficult for me to do an exciting pose, I guess, or at least more difficult than the average. And so I've been struggling with this quite a bit. A lot of it's what's in my own head, and this is kind of where I'm at right now. I don't love it. It's okay. It's got some wonky stuff going on, but I'm gonna stop for the day and have some food. So it's close to 2 a.m. It's Friday still. I did go back to work after eating and doing the other things. I had kind of a not super productive work day in the beginning of the day. I've made up for that, but I did not work on the horror. I got another page of Earthling's color, which I'm working on currently. I've been working on for a couple hours. And I also got booked on... I got booked on Quite the Gig. It's a fandango dingo. What? I don't know. But anyway, another caricature job, but a studio one that I will need to do in the next 2 weeks or so. But I had a little bit back and forth on that. And so right now I still have Kid Switch, Earthling, the horror, if you want to count that as a job, and 2 caricature jobs. None of these are super high pressure deadlines, but I'm trying to get them all done. Actually, the horror has the most high pressure deadline in a way because I want to get it done before shows come. But I wasn't feeling particularly inspired to work on the horror. I felt like I wanted to get done with that Kid Switch page, but I was just having such a hard time with it today that I was not going to work at all, and I said, no, I'll do some coloring, because it doesn't take much thought to, you know, I know what colors I'm using, like, it's just coloring. I already did a page, so I already made the choices of what colors to use, and I'm just filling it in, you know, flats. So it's more mechanical, and I knew I could force myself to do it, thus allowing myself more time later to work on either Kid Switch or horror, which will take more brain power and energy. So sometimes, I like focusing and having just one project, but sometimes it is good to have more than one, because I want to work. I'm not feeling inspired, I'm not feeling energetic mentally, and I could force myself to do this work when I'm in this state, and then hopefully next time do better. Now the weekend's coming up. I have a lot of things I need to do on the weekend. I need to do some toy reviews for Collection DX. I do my own toy stuff, but I also sometimes do things for Collection DX, which is a much bigger, more popular site than anything I do, and I'm lucky enough to get samples from them sometimes, which I have. So I have to do those probably sometime this weekend, and like I have to get rid of the old couch and blah 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 stuff that, like I said, I've been focusing on art during the week and then doing other things on the weekend. So I don't know if I'll draw again before Monday, but this is the end of Friday at the very least. So Friday! I should just do that for like an hour and then be like, and today it's the next day. No. Saturday morning, and I woke up, Q made me some breakfast, and we are heading out to a toy store about a half hour away, Niles, which I talked about before. It's this weird little sleepy town that has a lot to do with the beginnings of Charlie Chaplin, because there's a vintage toy store there that is having a first annual once-a-year warehouse sale. So instead of working or doing house chores, we're going to start the day with that. So I am not complaining. At a Toys R Us, not near my home. Well, hey there. It is Sunday night. It's after midnight. I think it's close to 1 a.m. No work on the horror done. No artwork at all done Saturday or Sunday, as per plan. However, I didn't get as much other stuff done. I did some socializing, which was nice, and I did some hanging out with my wife and spending time in the town and looking at toys and going places. And I had a good weekend. I did get a little bit of work done, put some eBay auctions up, and I'm working on a toy review, sort of a work toy review for Collection DX. I got some samples in of some Star Wars samurai figures, and so those, when I get samples from them, part of the deal is I have to get it done in a certain amount of time with a certain format. So I did work on those this weekend. They're not ready and up yet, but that's something I'll have to finish this coming week, in addition to my other work and everything else. But I am looking forward to tomorrow getting back to work. I'll probably start off working on colors on the Earthling and then go from there. Well, of course, catching up on emails and things, too, that I may or may not have been neglecting over this weekend of carefreeness. Anyway, bye. It's Monday morning.
I have been coloring on the Earthling for 2 hours. 2 hours! And here I am, mostly done. Mostly done with the characters. Still got to do the background and get to other things in this day.
This day? This Monday. This Monday. This day? This Monday. Hey, here's an anecdote to break up the monotony of me looking at the screen and talking to you about exactly what I did. I was in Target the other day. Target? Do I go to Target? Oh, I guess I like that store. Yes. Anyway, I was in Target and I heard some guys talking in like the next aisle over, and they're all like tough guy, like, you know, whoa, I don't know how to be a tough guy. Hey, whoa, I'm a tough guy. I don't know how to be a tough guy. But like sort of using a lot of like stereotypically urban vernacular and like laughing, and like it's hard to describe. I mean, it just sounded like, ooh, there's some people that think they're tough or they are tough or whatever. But what's funny is I came around the corner and it was like 3 kids that were like 15 and nerdy and like, but it's just like the sound of what I thought they were gonna look like did not match up at all. However, I did keep listening to them because they were loud, and as they're walking away, they were kind of like fake fighting with each other. And the one guy said something to the other guy about whatever, and he's like, you better watch it. I'm gonna smack you so hard a fortune teller could read your palm off your face. And I thought that was great. Honestly, my delivery might have been slightly more energetic than theirs, but I had not heard that joke. It might be a standard your mama kind of joke. I had never heard it, and I thought it was funny and laughed. And now I'm sharing it with you. Now let's get back to whatever I'm talking about with art. Oh, it's been 5 hours of work today. I got a late start. Q's coming home soon, so I gotta make dinner. I've been just coloring the Earthling page. I started it the other day. I don't remember how much time I put in it. I probably have another hour at least, so I will finish it tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to work on anything else, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Monday night, I did about a half hour more coloring on the Earthling. I know this is supposed to be about the horror, but I'm just talking about what I did. Made some dinner, ate some dinner, watched the new episode of the new season of X-Files. Not sure how I feel about that. And I'm going to Target to do some food shopping that needs to be done. Checking the mail first. It's like 48 degrees, which is not freezing by any means, but yesterday I think it was about the same, but like very windy. And I don't know, the last day or two it's actually felt like end of fall going into winter here, which it never gets that cold, and you know, compared to the rest of the world and the country, or whatever I should say, country, it's not that big a deal. But it's like, oh, maybe I'll put a jacket on. I don't really follow wrestling much, but you know, I understand the broad strokes and some of the main characters. I always find it interesting when older wrestlers are still around years later but have a different look. And I'm looking at Goldust, who I remember being this sort of glam rock person who now looks like hardcore metal person, but the chest area design looks very Ultraman. Like there could be a timer rate in there. I wonder if that's on purpose or if they're going for more of an Iron Man look or whatever. But it's just interesting the way things change. Midnight Monday, 6.5 hours. I finished coloring the Earthling page. Like I said, I started it the other day, so I don't know how long total. I'm going to now either work on Kid Switch or the horror. I'm not sure which. I'm going to keep going. 2:15 a.m. I am done for the night. I did not work on the horror. I did some more work on Kid Switch. That same panel slash page I was talking about, the pinup. I'm not going to show you what I got going on because it's sort of a mess, but it is a progress mess. I did a bunch more roughs, ended up coming back to something that looked basically the same, and I just started inking it, and it's got a little more work to go, but at least I'm on the right track as opposed to fumbling. So tomorrow I'll be working on this and the horror. For sure, I'll get some work on the horror done tomorrow, Tuesday. Bye. I love talking like that. Tuesday, 12:45. I got up earlier today, so I haven't started any artwork, but I needed to catch up on a review video. Wow, blast! I don't know what it is with the light in this window. I must live next to the sun. But I'm working on editing a video. If I get in close, you could see it's for Ronin Boba Fett, but that's for my Collection DX review that I need to get up soonish, so I put in some time on that this morning, but I'm going to transition now to art work. Outdoors again. I just went to the post office to drop off some eBay auctions that I put up over the weekend, so that's some money coming in that doesn't involve drawing. And I went for a walk, and it's a little bit chilly, not freezing or anything. Wouldn't have been my preference to go for a walk today because A, it's a little bit colder than I would prefer. B, I was in the groove working on Kid Switch. I finally got that pin up to a place where I'm satisfied with it. Again, I'm not ecstatic, like, oh, I did it, this is the best, oh! It's more like, okay, I'm not embarrassed. And I feel myself being in that position a lot. Get it to where I'm not embarrassed. But anyway, I was well into the inks of it, and I feel like I could finish up the inks today. But the post office closes, so I had to go. Well, I didn't have to, but it had been a day or two, and I should ship things out promptly if I want to keep my good ratings and keep selling and having money come in, even when I'm not drawing. So I'm walking back now. Not sure, I'm probably going to step back into Kid Switch, maybe try to do some horror after work. But this isn't the usual thing where I'm trying to avoid the horror, I'm worried about it. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, still Tuesday, going on 6 o'clock. I'm gonna start dinner. I finished the inks for the Kid Switch page so that any work I do later after dinner, which I plan on doing, you know, plans can change. My hair is weird. Will be on the horror. So, yo.
2 pages, inked. Now I just gotta color these. Ha! What's with the voice? I don't know.
Tuesday night, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock. I almost didn't work on the horror because I knew I only had the energy to do a little bit, and I almost talked myself out of it, but I reminded myself that I recently relearned. It's a lesson I have to keep teaching myself, and I feel like this is true of a lot of people, of like, so do that half hour, do that hour, get some work in. Yeah, you had a work day, you took a break, you had some dinner, you watched some TV, you gotta sit down at the computer, why not draw for a half hour to an hour? And that's what I did. I did about an hour and 15 on the horror, mostly inking the panel 5 of page 22. I have 6 panels on it, I got 2 left, well, 1.5 now, and this is what I got going.
There's a big fist of the horror coming down and smashing these 2 mech tanks, and I basically just inked these tanks. And I had to change the design a little bit to make them match what I've got going, because once again, I don't have a definitive design for these. I just have the 3 or 4 different ways I drew them in the roughs, coupled with a background image from an earlier page. Luckily, they're being smashed and everything, but it's, again, kind of like with the oil refinery. They're only showing up for a few pages, and then if they show up again in later issues, I'll have a more definitive design that arguably could have been retooled or changed after the fact, or a different model, whatever. So, but anyway, I inked these up and good to go for today.
12:30 Wednesday, I'm standing in a different area. I was at my desk, but almost every shot has been, look, I'm at my desk. So now I'm standing a few feet away from my desk. Anyway, I got up a little bit earlier, and I have finished editing one of the toy review videos I had to do for Collection DX. It's exporting now. I'm going to get some things ready to ship on eBay, and then I am going to jump into something, the horror maybe? I'm not sure. Look at that fire in the sky. It's weird, it looks pretty, but it translates on video as being like a blaze. Look, like one of my apocalyptic dreams, like, I only have a couple minutes, better make it count. Luckily, I'm at the pet store near the comic store. Anyway, yeah, I worked on colors for Kid Switch is what I did. I got about half the flats done doing a 2-up thing, and then I needed to go out and mail an eBay auction, and I also sold print. So I had to do that whole half-hour thing to sell a print that I talked about the other day. And then since I was going out anyway, I decided I'm going to go to the pet store and run some other chore type things outside of the home, and that's what I'm doing now. It's about 5 something. By the time I'm done, I'm probably going to pick up some Taco Bell on the way home and hopefully do some more work later tonight. I don't know on what. Bye, car. That was car. Although I'm feeling kind of scummy today, the light in here is quite flattering, and the air freshener smells like orange Pez. A day-late quick change. There was no further updates from yesterday. I worked on Kid Switch some more. Those flats always take longer than I thought. I didn't even quite finish the flats. Did not work on the horror. I am out now. I've sold some things on eBay that I need to send to the post office. I'm picking up a prescription at CVS. Gotta go to Target to get some things. I'm doing work type stuff, housework type stuff, although I'm not in the house. And then, hey look, it's a palm tree that they've planted here because they're not indigenous. And I need to do this before 2 because then my buddy Alex is coming over to help me get rid of the old couch. We got a new couch, I don't know if I mentioned that. And then as payment for his help, I will go to toy stores with him. It's not much, I mean, I want to go to toy stores too, but it's more an excuse, a reason why I will blow off most of this work day. So it's not exactly a day off, but it's a day off of artwork. Look, that's the Brocade. I think it's some sort of tech company, but every time I see it, I imagine just a bunch of bros, like jockey, hey dude, kind of douchey guys standing up in rows, and you play them like arcade games. The backlight, so strong! Better, dramatic, warm, cool light behind, warm light in front. Look at how I'm popped out from the background. It is Friday. I kind of left off Thursday without reconciling the end. I mostly was out doing things, but I did come home and work on some Kid Switch. I finished up the coloring on one of the pages I was doing, and today I'm finishing up the coloring on the other page, which will not finish the Kid Switch job, but it'll finish the immediate pages I am working on. I have 2 pages of Earthling I need to color, and I have not worked on the horror since, I think, 2 days. So once I get done with these colors, I will either start the horror or some flats on Earthling. I'm not sure which. I'm also contemplating the format of these videos in general. I'll leave that cryptic because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not quitting or anything like that, but I feel like I'm falling into a rut of uninteresting, hey, here's me talking about what I did today, like very literally and very banal in terms of, you know, the sort of, I'm doing these daily updates, you know, daily mixed in, because I would get to the end of the week and I would forget what I did and I'd be like reading notes and it would be awkward. And so to combat that and to make it easier for me, I take a series of short videos every day, just like, here's what I did right now. And it makes it a little bit easier to assemble and it makes sure I don't forget anything, but I fear that they're becoming unnecessarily long and not necessarily adding to the interest or information I am transmitting to you. So I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to change, but this will probably be the last video that's in this exact format. At least for a while. I might change and go back again because I've done that a few times too. It's almost like I'm not a professional broadcaster. Welcome to the new format. This is Gazbot laying on the floor with cats. I'm here to tell you about all the new techniques. Well, I've already lost my cat. I'm not an expert. Of laying on the floor with cats. Get them to rub your head with their head, watch their tail waggle. Let them sniff your finger. That's right. We'll have a whole section on cat finger sniffing coming up after the break. Still Friday. It's in the evening. I don't remember what I said I was going to do. Still Friday, it's in the evening. I have worked on the horror a bit. Not as much as I'd like, a little over an hour, but something better than nothing. I already had these tank mechs done, and so today I basically put the shading in, and then I inked and colored this whole fist here. Now, a couple things to point out. This is not 100% done. I still need to put a few like effect lines and things like that. However, if I erase the tanks, this is a problem I've talked about before, where I fully rendered and shaded this entire hand, and then put the tanks over it. And this is something I have to get over, but I'm not going to try to retrain myself the last few pages here in the middle of what I'm doing, but I recognize it's a bad system. The other thing is that this entire panel is, you can see how big I'm working on it. It's like filling up my whole screen, but it's not that size. It is that size. It's 1/6 of the page, and this is going to be cut off here. I didn't mean to give you the finger. And yeah, so there's that. But anyway, at least I closed out the week. In general, this period hasn't been as productive as last time in terms of my work that I've gotten done. I'm still getting effort in, it's still happening, but it's just, it's slowed down because of client work, and I have a couple pages of Earthling I need to do, and next week I have 2 caricature jobs on site, which will slow me down a bit, but I'm, again, trying to make sure to still get a little bit of work in here and there. So, progress made, progress not over, and that's it for Friday. Today's Friday, that's the end. Goodbye. So in closing, fa-la-la-la, la-la-la-la. I've been Gazbot, and thanks for watching. I have a review of Ronin Boba Fett up through Collection DX. I'll put a link to that below if you want to check it out. that is just what it sounds like. It's like a Samurai Boba Fett figure that I got as a sample to do a review for Collection DX, which is the site I do for. I also do my own toy reviews. You can check those out, Gazbot's Toy Shots and others. I actually put up an update for Gazbot in Japan, and all of these have links below. Meanwhile, for my channel, it'd be nice if you subscribed, if you liked, if you shared, any of that stuff. I have a Patreon too if you want to give me money for these things. If you do none of that, thanks for at least watching this. Tell somebody you like it, subscribe, that doesn't cost anything, and it's just as good as money to me. Well, maybe not just as good. Anyway, thanks for all. Me. Bye. My feet are glued to the ground.
Well, hey there, sexy fella balalas. Hey there, sexy fella balala.
The assumption that human beings are smart, big mistake.
What are you still doing here? Get out of here. The video's over, you mooks.